Christina Coultas is the senior director at the Family Place. As Steve mentioned, the Family Place provides shelter and counseling for victims of domestic violence, so we appreciate you being here tonight. Before we talk with you, though, let's take a look at Hardy, the Hardy files. Greg Hardy, here they are. Last May, Hardy was arrested for assaulting his girlfriend. In July, he was found guilty. In September, he was put on the commissioner's exempt list. Also in September, that charge was dismissed. All right, a lot happening in a relatively short amount of time. You see all that. What's your first thought, Christina?
Overwhelmed,
yeah.
And wondering about the impact that survivors may have hearing that on the news today.
So you say the impact taking them back to what they've been through, feeling like they don't get justice, re-victimization?
Potentially, you know, seeing someone that's an athlete who's in the news, who's still not been held accountable potentially for his use of violence. That can be really disheartening for survivors to hear.
Well, you listen to the details of this case, what his ex-girlfriend said last summer, said he almost killed her, said he threw her on a couch filled with guns, had lots of guns, loaded guns, which he bragged about, she said. And now she's taken off. She can't be found. A few pictures have popped up on social media, but she can't be served to testify again because they can't get a hold of her. When you hear that, how does that make you feel?
Well, it's something we hear a lot in our line of work. There's many barriers for survivors to continue to cooperate with criminal justice workers, whether it's a prosecutor or the police department. There may be fear of retribution from the abuser. There may be fear from what their friends and family say. There may be fear about what happens in their workplace. And then just fear of the criminal justice system. You know, what if nothing happens? What if this goes to jury trial and it's found not guilty? I've gone through all this. What happens to me now? And so that's an overwhelming feeling for all survivors, and it takes a lot of risk and vulnerability to really come forward and stay involved in a case the whole time it's pending.
Okay, so given all of that information and knowing that domestic violence crosses, there's no border, crosses, it goes into every family, every socioeconomic level. How do fans, Cowboys fans, celebrate? They see the signing of Hardy. They see Hardy smiling, they see Jerry Jones smiling, and you've got these victims going, whoa, wait a minute. So how do you celebrate something like that?
Well, what I hope that the Dallas Cowboys see is an opportunity to make sure that their voice is part of the city of Dallas's response to domestic violence. The mayor has worked really hard to have a zero tolerance policy to hold batterers accountable. And hopefully the Cowboys can be a part of that by first kind of considering how they can hold this new player accountable, pending the investigation by the NFL that's ongoing.
Right.
But also how they can just create an atmosphere within their team that this behavior is not tolerated, and will provide support services to survivors who may come forward that may be players' wives or others in our community. So I think the Cowboys have a real opportunity to really step up to the plate.
Well, the NFL's conduct committee is working on all of those things, but you know what, bottom lining it, Jerry Jones is a businessman. And he's not going to do something that's going to take away money from the team. I think if he thought Hardy would really be an issue, he wouldn't have signed him if it was going to affect the bottom line.
Right. Well, and hopefully, you know, they can maybe create some accountability in whatever contract they have with them, perhaps by attending a battering intervention and prevention program, being part of a mentoring program, doing volunteer work in the community.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask, is there anything that Hardy can do? This is going to be his new home, and he's maybe not stepping off, you know, on the right foot with things. Is there anything that he can do for the folks here in North Texas?
Well, I think being willing to potentially attend a battering intervention and prevention program would say a lot to the community. It would say, you know, I want to learn more about my behavior. I want to learn more about what it means to be in a healthy relationship. And everyone can gain something from that, whether or not they've used violence. And he can really step forward and do that.
And just talking about it can make a difference.
Absolutely.
Christina, thank you. Thanks for being here with us tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you.